Hello. With the Baltimore Orioles and Tampa Bay Rays playing before an empty house in Baltimore, it got me thinking about low-attended baseball games. So we're going to get to that a little bit later, but first, here's a little bit of interesting trivia. On July 23rd, 1887, Fred Chapman becomes a Major League pitcher. He becomes the youngest person ever to play in a Major League Baseball game. This was July. His 15th birthday was not until November. Since this was the only year that he played in any capacity in Major League Baseball, his career was over by the age of 15. The squeeze play was invented by George Case and Dutch Carter while they were playing for Yale. They used it for the first time on June 16, 1884, while in a game against Princeton. Leave it to those wacky university students to come up with something clever like that. On October 10, 1904, Big Bill Dineen helped Boston win the AL pennant by defeating New York. The score was 3-2. The interesting thing about this game was that it was his 37th complete game of the season, and it was his 37th complete game in a row on the year. The last person to even start 37 games in a Major League season was Greg Maddux, pitching for the Chicago Cubs in 1991. The last American League pitcher to do it was Dave Stewart, who did this in 1988 for the Oakland Athletics. Now getting to low-attended baseball games. The game on April 29, 2015 between the Baltimore Orioles and Chicago White Sox was attended by no one. That's because nobody was admitted, of course, because of the fallout of the Freddie Gray riots. And they just felt that for the safety and security of people that, like their fans or anybody else really around the city, that they wouldn't draw resources away from more serious areas. So getting to other low-attended baseball games, the lowest one that I can come across for attendance was a game between the Cincinnati Reds at the Florida Marlins. This was due to Hurricane Irene sweeping through the area, and only 347 people decided to brave the elements and come out to the ball game. The lowest attended World Series game was the fifth game of the 1908 World Series between the Cubs and the Tigers. This game was in Detroit, and it had only 6,210 people in attendance. So just think about that. The last year the Cubs won the World Series, there was only 6,210 people in attendance to watch it and witness it, because there's of course no TV, they didn't have a radio deal or anything like that. So the only way you could actually see it while it was happening, or even hear about it while it was happening, really, was to actually have been there. The lowest attended baseball game on record before the Chicago White Sox-Baltimore Orioles game was in 1905 on November 5th. It was a Pacific Coast League game between the Oakland Oaks and the Portland Beavers. It was a long season. At the time, the PCL used to run a 210-game season. The season would start in March and end in November, so it was a long season anyway. It was a very cold and rainy day, so they really were hoping for anyone to show up, but only one person showed up to the game. Records have shown that there's been different researchers that have tried to find out if they could find out who it was who went to the game, but as far as I've been able to find out, nobody seems to have come across this information yet. So if you happen to know who it was, just put that in the comments below. Of course, who knows how well these videos are going to be, and maybe there'll only be one person watching it anyway. So maybe this will be the lowest attended video in baseball history. Anyway, thank you for watching. Of course, we've got our previous and our next videos there if you want to follow along. If you like this, give us a like and feel free to subscribe. And thank you very much, and see you next time.